Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Businesswoman murdered in Clarendon home invasion. Businesswoman 42-year-old Melissa Wright was gunned down during a robbery at her home in Clarendon last night. Her children reportedly pleaded with her attackers not to shoot their mother. She was shot several times. It is reported that Wright and her family were at home in the community in Belcaris when about 7:30 p.m. they were pounced upon by two men who kicked in a door. The men, one armed with a gun and the other with a knife, then entered the room where the family had gathered. Family members were ordered to leave the room while Wright remained behind. The men then demanded money from Wright and subsequently opened fire. The attackers then fled. The police were alerted and the injured woman was taken to hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, People's National Party caretaker Richard Azan condemned the killing. One of the major things I believe is that we have lost love in our country and respect for life and the culture of how we treat each other. We have to find a way to correct it, said Azan. It is sad, just a couple of months ago another murder was committed, couple chains away. A garden fork was used to kill somebody, he said. Azan bemoaned that murders are now taking place in peaceful communities. Fruit vendor killed in St. Mary, man hospitalized. A fruit vendor is dead and another man is nursing gunshot wounds in hospital following an attack by a gunman in Onoto Bay, St. Mary last night. The deceased is 32-year-old Victor Brown of Bottom Bay in the parish. Reports from the Onoto Bay police are that Brown was at his stall. At about 7:30 p.m. a gunman came up and opened fire, hitting him. A man who was standing at the entrance of a nearby restaurant was also shot. Brown ran from his stall onto the main road and subsequently collapsed. The attacker fled the scene on foot. The injured men were taken to hospital where Brown was pronounced dead and the other man was admitted in serious but stable condition. JTA head renews call for reintroduction of civics into schools. The Ministry of Education is being urged yet again to reintroduce the teaching of civics in schools. The call was made by the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association JTA, Winston Simmet, during a virtual presentation at a meeting of the Lions Club of Kingston on Wednesday night. Pledges to have civics brought back into schools have gone unfulfilled. Simmet described its removal from the national curriculum as a grave and fundamental error. Some genius along the line figure that civic education is not important. Let us remove it out of the curriculum, so it was removed. And what do we have today? We have a society that is almost at a point of self-destruction, Simmet argued. He charged that since then, schools have seen a rise in catastrophes, in which students show little or no respect for their institutions or display discipline. Arguing that some parents too are indisciplined, the JTA head said that they continue to contribute to a system that tells children that it's not about the tightness of your pants, learning, and it's not here learning. Simmet, however, argued that the narrative will only perpetuate indiscipline in our society. Over the years, there have been public outcries against schools which have turned away students over grooming, particularly hairstyles. In pushing back, institutions have argued that they have set their rules and that students must follow them. Simmet argued that the JTA continues its effort to promote order and decency in the society and encourage Jamaicans not to dismiss the organization as obstructionist, but to comprehensively listen to its reasoning. Clansman gang trial case adjourned as defendants test positive for COVID-19. The Clanston one-done gang trial has been put on pause until June 13 as one of the defendants has contracted COVID-19. The case was adjourned this morning after Chief Justice informed the Home Circuit Court that lone female defendant Stephanie Christie contracted the virus. As a result, the hearing was then adjourned to give the defendant time to recover. The prosecution was expected to continue responding to a no-case submission from defense attorneys. The remaining 28 defendants are being tried on an indictment with 19 counts under the Criminal Justice Suppress of Criminal Organizations Act and the Firearm Act. Initially, 33 defendants were charged on a 25-count indictment. However, the counts were reduced to 19 after 6 were abandoned by the prosecution. 4 defendants, Damien Ellison, Rasheen Williams, Ravalda Hilton, and Owen Osby, were found not guilty by the Chief Justice, and freed after the Crown indicated that it did not have sufficient evidence to prove its case against the men, while the fifth defendant, Dwayne Salmon, was freed after the judge upheld a no-case submission by his lawyer, Kemar Robinson, while rejecting an application from the prosecution to amend the indictment so that he could be charged with additional count of knowingly providing a benefit to a criminal organization. The Chief Justice, in rejecting the application, said the amendment would cause severe injustice to Salmon. The 31-year-old construction worker, who was alleged to be the gang's consummate and supplier, was initially charged with being a member of the criminal organization and illegal possession of firearm, but the gun charge was conceded by the prosecution. Cops issued 20,000 electronic traffic tickets in 6 months. More than 20,000 electronic traffic tickets have been issued by the police across the island since they were first equipped with e-ticketing devices 6 months ago. The e-ticketing application, the pilot of which was launched last November, is expected to replace the existing manual ticketing system used by the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF). Acting Commissioner of Police Gary Mackenzie, head of the JCF's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, gave the update during the commissioning of 9 exhaust emission analyzers by the Ministry of Transport at the Harborview Examination Depot in St. Andrew on Wednesday. We as a police force have been embracing the new devices in recent times, and the electronic ticketing device is one such device. In fact, we got 100 of them in December 2021, and to date, we have utilized them well, Mackenzie said, who noted that on average, the JCF issues 450,000 traffic tickets annually, which does not include arrests and the issuing of summons for breaches. He, however, noted that the absence of the yet-to-be-passed regulations to give effect to the Road Traffic Act 2018 was still affecting operations. We have a glitch right now in terms of arresting some of the persons who have not yet paid their tickets. This is something that we hope will very soon be corrected by virtue of the commissioning of the new regulations Road Traffic Act, which we are looking for, he said. Transport Minister Audley Shaw said the regulations, which have been tabled in Parliament, will come into effect very soon. He noted that the government would be making amendments before proceeding. What we are going to do is withdraw that one and retable, and in the fact, not only will we retable that one next week Tuesday, but Cabinet on Monday also approved the Transport Authority Act amendment, so I'm tabling the final regulations as well as the Transport Authority Act next week Tuesday, Shaw said. We are equipping our regulatory bodies with the tools needed to carry out their functions effectively and honorably, he added. The government continues to fight for road safety, and we need all hands on deck. Too many lives have been lost on our roadways, and the numbers keep going up every day. Up to yesterday morning, the island had seen 194 road fatalities since the start of the year. I make a special appeal to persons to peruse the correct avenue to obtain a learner's license, Shaw appealed. We're going to clean up the business of obtaining a driver's license. We're going to clean that one up. It's been in public purview that to get a driver's license, you pay $25,000 and you get your driver's license without being tested. That is unacceptable. He blamed the illegal practice for the high number of road accidents. Changes coming for police divisional borders, says Zhang. In order to make policing more efficient and effective, and in keeping with the significant challenges posed by increased population and urbanization, reconfiguration of the divisional borders of the Jamaica Constabulary Force has become a necessity, according to Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Zhang. Zhang made the disclosure earlier yesterday during his sectoral debate presentation in Parliament. He said that while the police are organized into 5 geographic areas, which have retained their original borders despite population changes, and while much has been done in institutional restructuring, there are several critical changes that have become necessary in establishing good public order throughout the country, and we believe that these changes are one such. The new configuration will see the 6 corporate area divisions and St. Thomas becoming the new metropolitan region. The police divisions of St. Catherine and Clarendon would become a new area. Meanwhile, increased population, commercialization and industrial activities, as well as the changes dynamics in criminality, will require modification to the current Area 1, St. James, Westmoreland, Hanover and Trelawney. Therefore, these parishes would justify their administration as we seek to quell the violence that has gripped that part of the country, Chang stated, pointing out that Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth and Manchester will form a new police area, leaving a new look area, one encompassing St. James, Hanover and Trelawney. In addition, Chang stated that there is a proposal for the establishment of the Kingston and St. Andrew Metropolitan Portfolio. This, according to the minister, will be in line with municipalities the world over, which has long recognized the need for the unification of policing services within their metropolitan areas aimed at achieving greater operational efficiency. This mode of operation creates solace and poses significant challenges to effective coordination and command and control, and as a result, a suitable location to house the portfolio headquarters has been identified, while the concept has received approval from the Public Investment Management Committee, Chang added. Chang said that while criminals operate seamlessly across policing divisions within the corporate area, there is no way the law enforcement efforts should be constrained by geographic boundaries. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.